It is finally here. It is finally subbed. Tokyo Ghoul Jack, OVA 1. That's been teased since the end of Season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. It is finally here. Now, a lot of you may be wondering, what is Tokyo Ghoul Jack? Because if you don't really know, this is a prequel story that takes place before the events of Tokyo Ghoul Season 1, or the manga, which I recommend the manga, but the main point stands is that Tokyo Ghoul Jack takes place before the anime and the first chapter of the manga. The main point of this OVA is to give characterization and give some backstory to two characters that are really important in the story of Tokyo Ghoul. For one, Artima, he stands out quite a bit. God Papa needs a backstory. Number two, Fruta, a partner of Artima that got some backstory as well in this OVA or the manga. Now the thing is, I want to quickly state this real quick because I need to make sure I let anime and manga readers know. I personally have not read much of Tokyo Ghoul Jack. I've only read about 3 to 4 chapters. I think there's like 6, 8 chapters. I forget how many chapters there are, but I think I only read 2 to 3 chapters. I got up to the janitor part in Tokyo Ghoul Jack, and I do know that the janitor part was not in this OVA episode. From my understanding, I'm assuming they, mixed 2 fights together because it was very similar, and to save time in production, of course, they kind of squished 2 fights together and made it look like it was just one. So that's, yes, I already know all about that. But I've already seen a lot of the things and comparisons and stuff, and from what I can already tell, the only thing that they really cut out that was important was the Akira appearance, where she was supposed to appear in Tokyo Ghoul Jack. But besides that, there was nothing really important removed. Now, I want to let you all know something. I don't know how many of you, depending if you're anime watchers or not, Ashita loves having double meanings. He loves having meanings behind everything. And if you take the time, I'm not going to say the entire bit here in this OVA review because it'll take up a lot of time and I don't have much time today, but if you did not know, there is some lore on jack-o'-lanterns. If you go to Irish lore and you find out, the backstory of jack-o'-lanterns, you will discover a story that relates with what happened in this episode of Tokyo Ghoul Jack. For instance, our main enemy, Jack, the Ghoul, or Lantern, whatever name you want to call her, she was the main bad guy of this OVA. But the thing was, with the story, from what you could pull out of this, is that she wanted to live a normal life. She wanted to live a life like a human. Even though she was a ghoul, even though she could not go to human society, because if they were to find out she was a ghoul, they would hunt her down and kill her in cold blood, she still wanted to be human. She wanted to be something she was not. Which, once again, Ashita Sensei shows another example of how ghouls and humans are forced to fight each other thanks to the work of V. For instance, not building those bridges, wanting to burn those bridges down. And we have another example of this with this OVA or manga series, Tokyo Ghoul Jack. We see it to where this girl, she tries her hardest to fit in. She wants to go to school, she wants to study, she wants to be able to have friends, she just wants to live a normal life. And of course, as a ghoul, she has to hunt as well. I mean, she has to hunt. As a ghoul, you need to eat. End of discussion right there. It's not their fault they have to eat, human beings, because they have to eat them to survive, which technically they just need the RC cells. But I mean, there's no invention for ghouls to eat RC cells because CCG's holding that technology. So for now, though, majority of ghouls, they just have to feast on, human beings, because that's what they have to do to survive. It's like seeing, a lion or a tiger hunting something down in its natural environment. That's kind of what a ghoul is doing. It's hunting something down, and can you really blame something that's trying to survive? But, now getting off of that, back into the story of this, what relates with the Irish lore with the jack-o'-lanterns and what our main villain, Lantern, was about, was that the backstory to the jack-o'-lanterns had a similar story with a boy called Jack. This person was called Jack, and he was cursed. He was cursed in a way to where he didn't want to go to hell, but God did not accept him to go to heaven. And in the act of not being able to go to heaven or hell, he wandered around in the world, like the spirit world, in between heaven and hell, without being able to go to either. And in a way, Satan mocked this dude by giving him a little ember from hell, and then this boy, Jack, grabbed this ember, put it into a turnip, or a pumpkin, and the jack-o'-lantern was born. Now, of course, there's more meaning to that story. I didn't cover the entire story. You can go check for yourself. Just type it in, Irish lore, jack-o'-lanterns, and you could probably find it on Google. I might have it in the description where you can check it for yourself, but the point stands is the story between these two things. It's really sad because there's double meanings to both sides of the story. From one side, you can see it to where Lantern or Jack was evil, hunting people, and a monster. I mean, the way she acted. And in a way, I have to agree with that side. But on another side, she was forced into this situation because of her circumstances. She had to hunt, feed, and protect herself, and attack Artima, and attack them to be able to survive. That's just how it was. And so if you think about it like that, that is the main reason. And then also explaining the reason why Lantern attacked those high school kids. Some are probably going to ask, okay, so Lantern attacked these kids, but ain't that kind of like an evil thing to do? The reason for this is because Lantern explained that she was envious, she was upset and angry that she could not live a life like a normal human. And what pissed her off the most was how you would have these humans, for instance, Fuda and then his gang he made that got killed in the beginning part of this episode. She was upset at people like this because they squandered away their life they were given, their happy life, because they're humans. They don't have to worry about being hunted down and killed, well, besides ghouls, of course, but they don't have to worry about hiding their face. They don't have to worry about always being on the run. They can, live a normal life if they want. They can get a normal job and, do the day life. And to see how that was and how she was looking at this, the reason why she killed those people was because they were just throwing away their life, and she wanted that life, and she couldn't have that life, in which eventually her life ended. The light went out. So, go read the meaning to the Irish lore to the jack-o'-lanterns. You might like it. It really gives a new perspective of this episode and the meaning behind it. But yeah, the first OVA that's to come out, the next one that's going to be coming out is focused on Shu and Chi, which, cannot wait for that one. That's going to be a fucking good one. But yeah, this first OVA, in terms of animation stuff, is very good. Censorship-wise, I'm kind of shocked. I'm shocked to see how uncensored it was. I guess since it's an OVA, it doesn't have to be as censored. I mean, it explains, Kiss Sis type OVAs and To Love Ru OVAs, and many, fan service OVAs I've seen that's came out, usually they're uncensored to begin with because they don't really need to follow the broadcasting laws in Japan, like, TV, because, I think they come with special books or, special DVD, BD releases, and that's probably why they're uncensored to begin with. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Tokyo Ghoul Jack. I'm gonna have to probably read the manga to get the full grasp of it, because I love my Tokyo Ghoul and I want to find out more about the story. I might eventually make a video that talks about in detail about the Irish lore on jack-o'-lanterns that relate with, Jack or Lantern in this episode of Tokyo Ghoul. It might make a good video just for discussion and reference in the future for anyone that wants to know more about Tokyo Ghoul Jack instead of just looking it up on, Wicca or any place on the internet. I could just have a video and people can go check it out. I might do that. That's a good plan. But anyways, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.